Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Amidst my coverage of the Steam Summer Sale, there's been a lot of topics that I unfortunately have not had a chance to talk about, and one of the big ones that has been brought to the forefront is the disaster that is Monster Hunter Wilds. I mean, how much of a disaster can you really say it was when the game sold as well as it did, and Capcom got your money, but ultimately, when a game is received this poorly, you do question whether or not it does a lasting damage to the IP. Like, what happens with the next Monster Hunter game that does release on PC? It'll probably be big, but certainly you don't want a game as notable and, dare I say, successful as Monster Hunter Wilds was, having an overwhelmingly negative recent review section, and that is because of the atrocity that is the performance in this game. Now, I've talked about it in my personal experience. Monster Hunter Wilds was playable on my PC. Was it an amazing PC version? Absolutely not, but I didn't experience the stuttering, crashing, and a lot of that a lot of other people experience. However, that is not me saying that I am diminishing that, oh, you guys just need to upgrade your PC. No, we all know this is a trash PC port, and you guys have heard me talk about before that the one thing I hate almost more than anything in PC gaming is whenever a bad PC port comes out, like Spider-Man 2, and you got the legions of warriors out there. They're like, but it's running well on my PC. It must be your PC. When they don't comprehend the fact that there's a billion different configurations, that there are optimization issues for specific hardware, and there are issues that people are going to face that other people aren't going to face. That, you know, Monster Hunter Wilds, for me, was at least a playable game. However, it's obvious that it's a disaster experience, and 18,000 recent reviews, and 12% of those reviews are positive. Now, they did note that they recently dropped an update, and they said that there was a performance update to it, and after the new update, a lot of people are saying it's even worse. Recent reviews say, not now. After the new update, everything just got more laggy. I have an RX 7900 XTX and a Ryzen 9. The performance gets worse every title update, and it just goes on and on. Some people were saying the performance got better, but generally speaking, if the performance got considerably better, it wouldn't have a 12% recent reviews. And hey, the game did shoot back up to 43,000 concurrent players as I'm recording this video. I actually believe it went well over 100,000 when the title update initially came out, but it seems like the performance hasn't gotten any better. However, I think this is just funny. This story, which, you know, it's not funny that people spend $70 on this game and it runs like a pile of garbage, but Monster Hunter Wilds, as noted on WCCF Tech, the devs of the game are going to host an optimization talk this month, and a new patch addressing PC stability and performance issues has been announced. So I'm going to read a bit of this article, and then I want to give my insight on why I think this is so funny. As confirmed on the CEDEC 2025 official website, programmer Yuichi Ito and AI engineer Takanori Nakamura will host a talk on July 24th during this year's edition of Japan's largest annual conference for game developers regarding the challenges of optimizing the latest entry in the series and how the team reportedly managed to maintain stable operation while realizing the game's core features, a statement many will inevitably find funny, at the very least, considering how the game doesn't run well on anything other than the very top-end PC. Even on the top-end PCs, there are issues, and a game that looks like this, like, let's be real, Monster Hunter Wilds is not that good-looking of a game, especially on PC, where I've seen so many texture issues and whatnot. And again, title update 2 is going to be coming, and more updates and patches are going to become. Patch 1.020.0.1 patch has been announced. This patch will address other issues on top of that, but they are literally hosting a conference, a discussion. Let's talk about how bad the optimization is without fixing the optimization. I mean, they've got these patches and whatnot. Like, bro, this is funny to me. Like, you're gonna go up on stage and you're gonna host a talk. Like, what is this talk for? Y'all are gonna talk about how much of a pile of trash this game is and 12% overwhelmingly negative reviews, and I don't think they're gonna do this, but it's the funniest thing to me, and they initially did do this, don't get me wrong. Yeah, and every bad PC port does this. They'll put out the FAQ and they'll be like, make sure your PC meets the minimum system requirements. Like, bro, everybody's at the minimum system requirements. What are we talking about here? It's like, they'll put out these statements, and I get that part of it is like they have to do it, but hearing it regurgitated over and over again, these make sure your drivers are updated, make sure you close out of all programs, make sure you're not playing this game on 64 megabytes of RAM. It's just like, bro, I hear the same garbage regurgitated with Spider-Man 2, Last of Us Part 1, Monster Hunter Wild, in the FAQ section. I'm like, here's how you get better performance, guys! And at this point, it's just comical, but nothing is as comical as literally having a talk that's hosted by the developers of the game talking about the challenges of optimizing the game. Like, what are we doing here? What input can they have? And it's not like this is the first time the RE engine has been terrible with an open world game. There was a little game called Dragon's Dogma 2 that came out last year, and now I just feel like maybe it's an engine issue. Like, yes, the RE engine works great in the linear Resident Evil experiences. However, in the case of Monster Hunter, Dragon's Dogma, these engines are a pile of trash. And think about how successful this game was on PC, and you could say, hey, it did well, and that shows that PC gamers are just gonna buy anything, even if it's a bad PC port. Stuff like this does do damage to a franchise, and I would argue that the game would be orders of magnitude more successful if you do drop a quality PC version, because now the consequences are going to be felt in the next Monster Hunter game. And I think the next Monster Hunter game is still going to do very, very well, especially over time if they do end up optimizing Monster Hunter Wilds. But this is one of those realities that, first of all, I get that it's not PC gaming's fault, it's not the hardware's fault, and there are still a lot of benefits of PC gaming, but ultimately, this is the biggest pitfall of PC gaming, in my opinion, when you have major games coming out, and there's really no predictable way outside of, proven track record. But look at what happened with Spider-Man 2 earlier this year. Nixxes Software has a pretty good track record with their PC version, and look at the disaster that game was. That game was a pile of trash. Monster Hunter Wilds, a pile of trash, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Last of Us Part 1, like, we're talking major games, often have issues on PC, and these issues, yes, you could say that console games have issues as well. Look, we're talking about, on my RTX 3080 that I played Jedi Survivor on, the game was dipping to 14 frames per second. Like, that's egregious, and trust me when I say that element of a game dipping to 14 FPS 14 FPS, it stings a lot more when you're playing the game on an $1,800, $2,000 PC versus a $500 console. And I didn't play Jedi Survivor at launch on PlayStation 5, at least not a lot of it, but I don't recall that game dipping to 14 frames per second like it did on my RTX 3080 PC. And Monster Hunter Wilds, another one of those egregious examples where people face crashing, stuttering, performance issues, and having a conference, a talk about talking. Yes, you're talking about the challenges. How about you talk about the challenges after you get this game up to a somewhat suitable state? Because right now, with the 12% positive reception, I can easily say it's not at that level. But I do find it a little bit comical. The game's a disaster, and, it's unfortunate, because this is probably the best-selling game of the year, or one of the best-selling games of the year. Like, Monster Hunter Wilds crushed it, and yes, it didn't have a lot of staying power, unfortunately, as far as the concurrent player base, but Capcom got your $70. Like, it's a different business model when it comes to a game like this, where people already gave them the $70, or however much you spent, ultimately, a lot of people still ended up enjoying it, having a good time with it, but I think people would enjoy it more if it was an optimized game, and it would do even better if it was an optimized game. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. What a disaster, but somewhat funny in the sense of literally having a conference to talk about the poor optimization. But your thoughts down below. As always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.